Let me set the stage for you. You finally got your Gen 3 Raptor. You ordered it, you waited for it, you finally got it, and frankly, you didn't get the 37-inch package because Ford didn't make that many, and that's okay because we have the solution for you, the Steeda High Output Raptor. Now, we did these things in the Gen 2, and now we're taking it to the next level with the Gen 3. You really can't go wrong with this thing. You get the Nitto Recon Grappler 37-inch tires with black Rhino wheels, ADD front and rear bumpers with all of the rigid lighting you can dream of, a Whipple, intercooler, cold air intake, and calibration to take this thing and make it even faster, both on and off-road. You take that and you pair it with the 2.5-inch leveling kit. It's an all-in-one package that you really can't go wrong with. We're gonna take it out on the street and show you how this Steeda High Output Raptor handles the street and then ultimately off-road. Very excited to show this thing to you, so let's get it rolling. Okay, here we are, 2022 Gen 3 Raptor. This is the High Output Raptor from Steeda. Very excited to be driving this thing. We recently took out a Gen 2 Raptor modified by Steeda. Again, the High Output Raptor, but this is the Gen 3. There was a lot of excitement with this thing and wow, just ready to take this thing on the road and see how it performs. I'm in normal road mode right now. One thing I'm really excited about in this thing is the exhaust modes. You know, we all know that this V6 engine isn't exactly what everybody that was a fan of the V8 and the Raptor was hoping for, but at the end of the day, this thing makes great power. It's awesome off-road. You line this thing up against pretty much anything in the sand dunes, and you're gonna be walking away, and they'll be looking at your taillights. So, needless to say, this V6 engine, V6 EcoBoost engine really does the trick, especially with what, over 500 foot-pounds of torque. You factor in the Whipple calibration, the intercooler, and the intake that we added on this thing, and it makes some serious power. So, 2.5-inch leveling kit on this particular Raptor that we install as part of the high output package, and it rides great. I feel like I'm on top of the world in comparison to a regular F-150. Let's see what the sucker's got. Changing the drive mode to sport mode. That does change the exhaust mode, the dampers, the steering input. Let's see what we got here. It gets up for an F-150, but that intercooler up front doing its job. Another thing we do with these things, add those ADD bumpers with the additional LED off-road lighting, hooked up right to these auxiliary switches up top so you can really light up the night when you're off-road. But it's interesting though, in sport mode you do feel a little bit more feedback through the truck. You can tell the dampers are a little bit more stiff, which is exactly what you look for in a sport mode. But in terms of road manners, I mean, it's super smooth. The Recon Grappler tires, 37 inches. So for those of you out there that ordered a Gen 3 Raptor, couldn't get your hands on that 37-inch package, we've got a solution for you. High Output Raptor has the 37-inch tires, and man, do you feel like you own the road. See what other drive modes we have here. Most of them are dedicated to off-road. Sport, normal, off-road. Yeah, I mean, we got a towing drive mode and snow and wet, obviously, but very, very cool. The graphics and everything, all Raptor specific. Again, just cruising around town, you really feel like you own the road. Whipple calibration doing its job from the transmission side and obviously the engine calibration side. The power dome, you definitely notice that in the center of the hood. I believe they said it was inspired off of a jet, a Raptor jet, but it does really have a menacing appearance, even from the cockpit. Be afraid to have this thing come up behind me on the highway. Needless to say, I'd be moving over. But I mean, this thing's supposed to be an off-road machine, and I've got the air conditioning on in here. I've got these huge LCD screens in front of me. My air-conditioned seats are on. Like, you really can have it all with the Gen 3 Raptor. And you pair all the additional amenities you get with the Steeda High Output Raptor, and you're really, really knocking it out of the park. So let's try the paddle shift. We'll pop it into sport mode. Try the paddle shifters. But it really does handle things pretty well. Meat of the torque curve feels great. Coming out of a turn. Boy, this thing really does it all. The funny thing is, when you come into a traffic circle, most people have to go around. The cool thing about the High Output Raptor from Steeda is you have the option to literally go through the traffic circle. We won't do that, but the option's there. All right, I know the temperatures aren't necessarily ideal, but I do want to try a 0 to 60 in this thing to see how it compares to stock. All right, we're in sport mode. Car's in 2-wheel high. Give it a little brake boost. The downshift is pretty cool on braking. Way cool. And again, decent amount of body roll, but it's a trade-off for having a truck on 37-inch tires, right? All right, I don't know about you, but I'm getting tired of driving this thing on the street. I want to take it off-road where it belongs, so let's jump to that. All right, the off-road portion. Let's see what we got here. Definitely need to ditch sport mode and see what we got. We got normal mode, off-road, Baja, or rock crawl. Rock crawl sounds fun, but we're not doing that here in South Georgia. Tow haul, slippery, sport, normal, off-road. 4x4 shift in progress, off-road use only. Thankfully, we are going off-road. Oh, that's cool, the graphic here under the Raptor status. You can see the steering angle, 21 degrees to the right, but you can see it says 4-wheel high, 4H, with a lock over the rear differential telling me the rear diff is locked, which is pretty cool. And right here, oh, that's cool. You got the tire tracks, or simulated tire tracks. So we're gonna go forward. Let's see what we got. Way cool. 4-wheel drive doing its job. Gas pedal is a little touchy. Dip. Very cool. Ground clearance is awesome with these 37-inch tires. You pair that with the 2.5-inch lift and you're doing some business here. All right, we're gonna loop this thing around. Really does handle this great. I'm gonna try a different mode here. Baja. Still keeps me in 4-wheel. The graphics obviously changed in the cluster. There's a little dip here. Barely even feel it. Had to have been 16 inches deep. So effortless too. We've had the Bronco back here. We've had the previous generation Raptor back here. And a couple other vehicles, including the regular F-150, and this thing it's effortless. The Bronco too. It's very impressive off-road. Very, very cool. Well, that about wraps things up. Let us know your thoughts. Comment below, because there's a lot to talk about with this thing. Just as a regular Gen 3 Raptor, you You pair in the Steeda high output package for it, and it takes everything to an entirely new level. Again, comment below, hit that like and subscribe button, the notification bell, and don't forget the most important thing, speed matters.